Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm Yvonne with Southern Designs and Finds, and welcome to my segment of with Craft Round the Clock. Y'all come on in, and let's make sure that I can see my page here. So, just have some kind of a message come up saying compromise password. I don't know what that is yet. Goodness gracious, I tell you. But anyway, let me get settled in here. So y'all come on in and say good morning to me. Be glad to get started here. I'm going to be making a DIY fall sign. I'm still doing fall. I'm going to be using part of a placemat. Good morning, Kathy. How are you, my friend? I'm going to be using part of a placemat. That camera looks like my head's cut off, but here I look okay. So y'all see me kind of ducking, that's why. Hey, Susan, good morning. Hey, Sherry, good morning. You're at the doctor's office. Well, I hope you're okay. Hope you're not sick. Hope it's just a checkup. Hey, Angie, good morning. Hi, Regina, how are you? Hey, Carolyn. Hey, Tracy, how are you, my friend? So I'm going to be working with a placemat that I found. Let me get some coffee here. I found this placemat at Hobby Lobby a couple of years ago, actually. I bought two. I think that was all they had. And I thought, okay, Tim and I will just use them in the RV, you know, but they were so pretty, and I knew I'd mess them up. But I'm going to show you what what it looked like, what part of it looked like. I used one already, I think a couple of years ago when I first got it, and I used an embroidery hoop and made, something using the embroidery hoop with it. Hello, Chalking at the White Elephant. Good to see you. Hi, Pam. Hey, Irma. Hey, Miss Pat. How are you? From Unique. Hey, Debbie. So anyway, this is, the white part of it, and obviously this was the back part of it. I messed up. I was hoping I could have used part of the back. This is just like half of the placemat. But this was what was on the placemat. It was larger, but it was basically in the corner like that. And it was so pretty, and I was going to use the back of this, but I peeled the two pieces apart, and now I think it would show through. I think that the checks would show through on that. So anyway, this was the placemat that I used, and okay, Pat, thank you. Yeah, I guess in order for me to get it down and get a little closer, part of my head's cut off on the camera part, but anyway. So I've already cut it, out, and I frayed the edges, just like that. I just frayed them. So I'm going to be working with this. I think it's just a really pretty design. The last one I did, the other one that I did was like I said, was an embroidery hoop, and I put the word thanks or thankful, a wood word on top of the embroidery hoop with some greenery. Hey, good morning, Diane. How are you, my coffee buddy? Cheers, everybody. It's a delightful 45 degrees, and you're part of Arizona. Wow, well, good for you. You're probably enjoying that. It was 37, something like that. So I think one morning it's going to get down to 34. I think that's next week. But we're going to get back into the 40s. But I think we've seen the days of being in the 80s. They're over with. So they're going to be in the upper 60s, lower 70s. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Keffany. How are you? I did not know you were having issues with your eyes. So I'm so sorry about that. But like I said, I'm so thankful that people knew about it and were interceding in your behalf, So for your eyesight and that one eye to come back, I have no idea, what happened. But anyway, I hope it all works out for you. I mean, it's awful not to be able to see well. So I'm going to use a beaded sign. I've already had this, from Hobby Lobby. I get them, when they're on sale. And so I'm going to paint it. I'm just basically going to paint it with plaster, chalk paint by Waverly. And just kind of doing something easy this morning. I'm tired. And I'm all for easy crafts. Aren't y'all up for easy crafts too? Let's see what I want to do. I guess I'll just use this. I'm going to paint all of it the plaster color first. It's already so cold here in Northern California. It's only 41 here and it's supposed to be 60. I know that feels cold for you too. You're up there where Cindy is. She said y'all had some rain the other day, and I'm sure that made it feel a lot colder too, didn't it? So I'm just going to paint the whole thing this color. May use some dark wax on, on it, but it can look a little distressed on the edges too. I don't have to get full coverage of it, but I'm just going to basically, I think I may dry brush a little color on the beads. We'll see. We'll see. The color I was thinking about is the Vintage Duck Egg by Dixie Belle, because I felt like that looked better with that piece of fabric. What are y'all saying this morning? You had a retinal detachment. Oh, and surgery last Tuesday. I didn't know anything about that. Yes, y'all be praying for Kefany. Gosh, she supports us so much, and I did not know about that. Did you just wake up and it just happened? I mean, I've known people to have retinal tears. They've had good results, with the surgeries. It did take some time. It did. I'm going to go ahead and paint the inside of this too, because maybe I don't want this brown natural wood to kind of show through the fabric. I don't know if it will or not, So I've started getting a little bit of Christmas in into my, I haven't loaded it into my store or anything like that, but I am ordering and just kind of, I don't know what it is y'all are interested in really. I just need some input. You can either message me or say it here in the comments. I just kind of need your input on what y'all would like to see in the store for Christmas. Just kind of let me know. I mean, I'm going to, have a couple of little florals. A drop-in, I call it, but it's a half sphere. It's real pretty. I gave one away in one of on my last live sale. But it's real pretty, and it's kind of wintry. It looks like it has snow on it, and that kind of thing, berries. But it's called a drop-in. You can drop it, it's a half sphere. It goes on any kind of a surface. You don't even have to have a surface, to be honest. It's got a flat bottom, so you can just stick it on your table, whatever you're using. And then I got a small mini wreath. It's real pretty. That'll go with anything. So those two things I have for sure. I've got a few wood windows, not a lot. They're kind of like the white windows that I sold out of. Little cathedral farmhouse windows. These are red. They're distressed and they're a barn looking red, but I don't have very many of those because he messed my order up and then there weren't any left. So I don't know if he's going to get any more back in. You went blind in your left eye and went to eye doctor, and he sent me straight to the hospital. Oh my goodness. Well, Kefany, I'm so sorry. Hopefully in time I will be able to see again. For now, I'm supporting and watching y'all with one eye. Thank y'all for the prayers. Y'all be praying for her. Y'all just, gosh, that's scary. That's so scary. I don't even know if they even know what causes that. I really don't. Gosh. Hey, Fatima. How are you? Hey, Jerry. So yeah, that's scary. My niece had something similar happen to her, and she's pretty good now. She had other things going on too. She had a fungus that occurs with people in their eyes. She lost her sight for a while. The people that lived off, near the Mississippi River. She lived in Iowa, grew up there, and they said that they're seeing a lot of that for people that live near the Mississippi. So, yeah, Pam, y'all pray for Kefany. And these aren't my current prescription glasses, so I don't see well through these, but I can still see. I have to really squint because I messed up my other glasses, so I've got to get an appointment. Every time I call, they're closed. I've got to get an appointment to get my eyes rechecked and get some new glasses. So, I mean, I might keep the frame, I don't know. But, you know, my style, whatever you have gotten, I'm sure I'll like. Well, I don't know whether to get, like, little shelf sitter signs or a little snowman. You know, some of the stuff I've seen, I just haven't cared for. And I'm really struggling with that. But, I'm looking. A lot of stuff that I did like is sold out. You know, people were buying Christmas back in June and July. You know, so from these wholesalers, especially if they went to the market. You know, that kind of thing. So, which I didn't get to go. Yes, Grace. Thank you. Grace redesigned by Shonda. Well, do I know you? I don't know if I know you or not, but it's nice to have you on my page. Welcome. You like the frame of my glasses, Sherry? They're a little longer this way, you know. I felt like they might have been a little bit too long width-wise, but anyway, these are an old pair, but I'm thankful that I found an old pair because I messed my lenses up on the others. I told y'all about that. I mean, there's no way I can see out of those other lenses. No way. No way whatsoever. So I had like hairspray residue on them and I couldn't get it off. I tried everything, vinegar, everything. So then when I heated some water up and used some Dawn and different things, it just kind of created some large white spots. And I felt like, well, by then everything was messed up. So I used Goof Off, and I don't know if that chemical reaction on the lenses did something, but they are just, look like they're shattered from the inside out, but it's just all white. So, but anyway, so I'm glad at least I have these. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good here. I'm just gonna kind of sand off some of this paint off the back. Sometimes I paint the back of my projects, and sometimes I leave them natural. And so I think I'm just going to sand this off, and then I'll get rid of the tag. I've got to find some more of the sandpaper that go with these Gator sanders. I'm down to just using the little yellow ones, and they're not as rough. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Alrighty, what a mess. I haven't been watching a whole lot of people lately, not unless it's in the evening, a lot of the creators, so you'll have to craft with the lenses. Oh, you mean you put them on? Oh, Lord. Whew. Good Halloween costume, probably, because they're just all white and foggy and cracked, and looks like I ran over them. I don't think I can craft with them. I don't even think I could even see the camera there, you know. Good morning, Janet. How are you? You're Shonda Kelso Koss. Okay, I recognize your name. Yep, right away, Shonda. I've followed you for years on my personal page. It's a new page, no lives yet. Well, welcome. Congratulations. So, yeah, I don't know what the rules are now with Facebook, how many followers you have to be live. Is it 1,000? I can't remember to go live. But anyway, welcome. Welcome. Shonda, I recognize your name. I sure do. And the Kelso I remember for sure, you know, and so we're glad you're here. Thank you for following me. So when do you start decorating? I usually start decorating, well, in the past when we had our other house, usually right around Thanksgiving. You know, right after Thanksgiving is usually when I would start decorating my house. I mean, I started so early decorating for fall in the new house because I was just anxious to do it and because of what I do. And now I'm getting tired of it already, but I'm not going to decorate yet. But I know I'll probably need to maybe do it a little earlier. I don't know. But I might put a few things out, you know, and then do the tree or something. I don't know yet. But usually right after Thanksgiving, that weekend is usually when I do it. What about y'all? When do y'all start putting your Christmas out? I know Jennifer, our daughter, our mother-in-law, she would put her Christmas tree up in October. I mean, that woman loved Christmas, and so her kids would come up on a weekend and help her get the tree up, and so she had her Christmas, you know, she would decorate it in October for it. So, all right, so I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the paint on here before I decoupage the fabric on here, because I don't want to mess it up. So let me get my paint. I'm thinking about using the Dixie Belle Vintage Duck Egg. It looks close to the darker blue-green eucalyptus leaves in here, so I think I'm going to just dry brush a little bit on there. But you know, if you run across pretty placemats or something, you know, or something that a piece of fabric that you see a design in, I mean, this is just an idea of what you can do. Do any of you remember this placemat from Hobby Lobby? They were so pretty, and they were just too pretty to use. I knew I'd mess them up. So, because like I said, I just bought the two for the two of us in the RV, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to make something with them. So that's just what I'm doing. We aren't home for Thanksgiving. We go to my daughter's. Sherry does. So I may put up my Christmas early November. It makes me happy. Yeah, Mr. Wonderful always likes to sit in the dark, you know, with the lights. Even in our RV, we had a skinny tree and a slim tree, and he liked to have the lights glowing, you know. So the weekend after Thanksgiving is when Jerry does it. Yeah, that's pretty common, I think. Thank you, Kelly, for passing the biscuits. I appreciate you doing that. We got 98 on. That's pretty good. Thank you for being here. Yeah, it's a pretty print. I love it. It's, you know, y'all know these are my colors, you know, the soft color palettes and the green blue, and I just love it. So makes a cute little shelf. I'm not going to mess up this time. Shelf sitter, because I knew last time I made a little blooper there. I don't know. Let's see. I think I'm going to use a paper towel and kind of dab some of this off. And I don't want it to be totally covered, not unless it looks funny. And then if it looks funny, then I'll try to paint the beads. That's what I love, sitting at night with just the tree lights. Isn't it? It's just soothing and relaxing, isn't it? Aren't the pretty colors, Angie? I like them too. We may get finished early, guys. I'm going to stall for time. So I'm just going to kind of lightly, you know, dry brush some of this on top. And it's just basically going to be a little on the top. How about that? I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I don't like that look. But anyway, this is Dixie Belle Vintage Duck Egg. So I think it went a little bit too heavy, so now I've got to go ahead and I have a heavy hand, let me tell you. I have a heavy hand. So I think it's going to look pretty good. I've had this vintage duck egg for years. I had to add a little bit of water to it because it was a little thick. Just a little bit. I could probably go back, but I think it looks okay just to have some of that white on the side showing. I think it looks okay. I've seen beads like that, beaded signs. So I just went a little heavier than I intended, so now I'm going heavier. I think it looks okay. I'm going to dry it. I might even go over it with the sandpaper. We'll see. You finally made it to my live. Well, I'm glad you're here, Michelle. Thanks for joining us. I'm really glad you're here. Isn't it a pretty color, Pam? I love it. Tree lights. That's what I love sitting at. Yeah, well, I knew what you meant. Tea lights. I knew tree lights. It's funny how, you know, our keyboards change our words, but I think we've seen it so much we really know how to decipher what you meant, you know. It's kind of scary, isn't it? But I like the color. I do too. I like the color. So I think what I'm going to do is get my sander back out. What did I do with it? I just had it. I went in the wrong basket. That's what it did. I don't think I have any more, even of the orange or the green. I think, well, I got a little bit of orange left, but let me just put another one on. Where do we get these? Is it Amazon we get the little sandpaper things? I can't remember. But anyway, so I'm gonna just, it may look goofy, which is, it seems to be looking goofy. So I may just, all it's doing is making little dots. Forget it. I don't like that. See the little dots? Nope. That didn't work, did it? So, let me go back over it here. That did not work. Now we know. That just made little dots on the very tops of the beads. Never know till you try it, right? Amazon for refills. I gotta go look. Yeah, I gotta go look. Even though I'm working, I'm done with it. So I'd rather watch me. Well, don't get in trouble. Do you work from home or you work in an office somewhere? So, all right, let me cover all these little round dots up I just made. Anyway, I hope y'all will let me know what you would kind of like to see in a store for Christmas. Snowmen, reindeer, candles, candle holders. I mean, I don't know. It may just be florals that I'm doing. You know, I like to work with florals. So, anyway, all right, I'm just gonna repaint the edge there. So let me do that. I got a little bit of blue paint. Lowe's or Home Depot. I'm gonna look at Home Depot and see if I see any there first. I know at one point Walmart carried the Gator sanders, but when I went to look, I couldn't even find the sander. So I don't think they have them anymore. So we'll see. All right, I'm just gonna touch this up a little bit here, where I got a little bit of blue on the plaster. I just want to get the sign all painted up and finished before I add the fabric, because I can't, once it's on if I get paint on the fabric, that's all she wrote, you know. So, you're a first time watcher, Elizabeth. Well, welcome. My name is Yvonne. My page is Southern Designs and Finds. I named my page that years ago because I used to enjoy thrifting and going out and finding things and repurposing them. But, you know, as everything else, we kind of evolve into different things. I do still, whenever I get an opportunity, find something, a vintage item or something like that, I do try to repurpose it. I've done that in my house, my new house, because I feel like it just really adds character, you know, to your house. And so I do a lot of that. I do decorating. I have an online store where I sell home decor. And I show you how to use it, you know, and a lot of times I kind of do the hard work for you. I pick the things out that go together, and if y'all have the funds, you can buy it, all of it or part of it. At least you get ideas and get inspired, you know. So that's kind of what I do. I make things here, DIY things, and to use in your home. And so we're glad you're here. Y'all welcome, Elizabeth. All right, so let's get that dried. Hopefully that's it on the paint, I hope. I'm gonna put this in the water. I got some blue paint on there. I'll get another brush. I'm gonna dry it, but I had a little bit of blue paint on that other brush. I guess where I laid it down. Okay, Let's get this dried. Probably should have dried this first. Alrighty. Put that over there. But this is a placemat that I'm going to be using if you just hopped on. It came from Hobby Lobby 2 years ago. I don't know if it's there now. I don't recall seeing it the last time I was in Hobby Lobby. I don't recall seeing it over there. But at the time, they were still putting out stuff. So that's, believe it or not. It's part of the placemat. Cloth placemat. Thank y'all for welcoming her. We have a wonderful community of friends here. We do. A lot of prayer warriors too. A lot of prayer warriors. So, and thank you for continuing to pray for my Mr. Wonderful. When he went to the Blues Festival in Arkansas, he went with a friend who he was sick. He said it was allergies, but it wasn't, because he got worse and he came back and had to get a couple of shots. And so I believe Tim caught it from him. So he's had a lot of chest congestion and coughing and hip congestion, and he's been short of breath anyway, but this has really made him short of breath, which is concerning. He didn't feel good at all this weekend. He did go to the concert with us, but he was working on the fence, and just that little bit of exertion really took it out of him, just his breath. So he sees a pulmonary doctor on first week in December. So thank you for praying for him. Hey Tanya, how are you doing, friend? She's one of my Blairsvillian friends here from Blairsville. Good to see you. Okay, I think we're dry. So here's the frame from Hobby Lobby, and this is the placemat that came from the placemat. Like I said, this is just part of the placemat. That was the back of the placemat. Wasn't that pretty? And I was really hoping to use both, but I separated them. And when I did, it's just going to show through. But anyway, it was over on the other side, and it was just on one corner, and the rest of the placemat was this off-white. I think it's really pretty. I've already frayed the edges around, one of the edges frayed. So I'm just going to use some Mod Podge. I'm gonna use the fabric Mod Podge. I don't know if it's necessary. Fabric Mod Podge is water-based sealer, glue and finish. But anyway, you use it with fabric or on fabric. I don't know if it's really necessary for me to do it this way, but I'm gonna use it. It's okay. I've got find my old brush. Well, where are you? This is the one I use, but it is super thick. It's like really like glue, because fabric really absorbs the Mod Podge, and so I guess that's why they make it thicker. I feel like if I used I have fabric hot glue, but I feel like if I use the fabric hot glue, it's thick too, that it's going to show. So I'm just going to do this. I have used spray adhesives in the past. It depends on the color of your fabric. Sometimes though, if I get a little heavy with it, it shows through, a little bit of the spray, little round little dots or stuff. It'll show through the fabric. It just kind of bleeds through and it doesn't disappear. So I feel like this has just been the best method for me, is just to use the Mod Podge. Thank y'all for praying for him. Oh, you couldn't have been in a crowd for like that? Well, our granddaughter, Sarah, that was on her bucket list. She had texted us a group text one night, and she said, Josh Turner was the night before, but she said, Trace Atkins is going to be here. She goes, why don't we all go together as a family? And our granddaughter lives in South Georgia. So we said, okay, so I bought the tickets, and everybody paid me for the tickets. But we went, the whole family went. Her husband, Zach, got an opportunity to go quail hunting with her boss. He has a hunting club that he belongs to. Oops, I need to dry that. I want to dry it and iron it on. He has a hunting club that he belongs to, and so he let me go ahead and put some more on there. that he goes to. And so, in South Georgia. And so he had invited Zach to go to hunt quail. They feed them, you know, dinners and lunch and breakfast, and they provide the birds, and they have people there that dress the birds, they call it, and all. So he went with him. So he went hunting instead. So Sarah drove up here by herself, and we had a good time. We went as a family to dinner, and had dinner at a Mexican restaurant, and just had a good old time. So, and I had never seen him. I mean, I knew the one song, the honky tonk, the donkey donk, whatever it is, but I did recognize more of the songs. I did. So, hoping that doesn't show through. But it's kind of a dark spot. I don't know if it's blue or if it's. We'll see. Maybe some woodland. Okay, bump it. Thank you for doing that. Maybe some woodland decor for Christmas, deer, greenery, shelf sitters, wooden trees. Well, thank you for your input. I appreciate that. That'll help me when I'm looking at Kefany, you know. So that'll certainly help me. It's not completely dry because it takes longer to dry it. It really does. But because it's so thick. It's bubbling up, actually. I got too close to it. All right. So let's just see how this does. Like I said, I hope that spot doesn't show through. But I want the frayed edges just to kind of hang out there like that, you know, and to where you can see them. So anyway, like I said, if you run across a placemat that you like, this is just an idea of something that you can do. Alrighty, so let's get this ironed on. You don't have to do that, but I like to iron on. So my craft iron here is set at medium high. It's kind of where I keep it. Yeah. Seems to be a good happy medium there. Kind of go over it a few times, make sure it's down good. I really did like using the spray adhesive. Of course, you got to do that in a well-ventilated area. So if you're really sensitive to odors, that's not a good thing to use. But like I said, if you get too much on there, you get these wet spots. That's what it looks like. It looks like a wet spot, and that they don't dry, you know, they stay that way. So if you're using a colored piece of fabric, it's no big deal. But something like this, using white, it would show through. So, and I don't know why it does that, not unless it's just my head. I'm spraying too much, you know. But I used to use spray adhesive religiously. Well, that looks good. Look at there. Isn't that pretty? I think that vintage duck egg by Dixie Belle looks really good with that. The other choice was my Paint Couture Angel Eyes, but it was a little off. So I think that looks pretty good. Yes, he was in Hiawassee, Shelley. He sure was at the Anderson Music Hall where the National Fairgrounds, Georgia Fairgrounds is. North Georgia Fairgrounds. That's where he was. And Josh Turner was there the night before. And we were just a few rows back. I mean, we had great tickets. I mean, the minute it went on sale, after the VIP people who have season tickets were finished ordering, the general public, you know, got to order. And I had my timer set, and so we got good tickets. So it was fun. I'll have to do something like that again as a family. All right, so I'm going to use... that's pretty just the way it is. I feel like that's just pretty, you know, but I'm going to just zhuzh it up a little bit. Just use some eucalyptus. This is the garland that comes from Hobby Lobby. I buy the garland when it's on sale because it's much more economical to buy that garland when it's 40 or 50% off. What is it usually? Florals. And So I just buy a whole garland of it and cut off of it. So I bought this garland 2 years ago and I have plenty left, you know. Thank you, Tammy. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this, and I've got some, I've also got some Sweet Annie here. Okay, and I did not have any spray sealer because I usually spray seal my Sweet Annie just so that it doesn't shed, you know. And so I just used Mod Podge. I just took a brush and went over it with some Mod Podge. So that's what I did. All right, so let's get this glued on here, and I'm going to use I'm going to do a raffia bow too. So this part, when you're using, okay, there we go. I have to get part of that down, glued down, part of one of the leaves. Because it doesn't lay flat. You know, this eucalyptus doesn't lay flat. So I have to get one of the leaves right here and glue it down. That's how I do it. So I've got one on each end there. Ah, thank you, Jay. I'm just having fun, Jay. You know, we're just doing something relaxed today. There's Just Jackie Crafting. It does look pretty good, doesn't it, Jackie? I think so. So I'm gonna cut off a little bit of the end of this. How are we doing on time? We're doing good. So we'll probably finish early. So I'm just gonna get me one of those little pieces there and glue it down because it just doesn't lay flat. And through experience, that's just kind of what I needed to do. I figured that out. So I'm just gonna hold my finger there a minute. I'll glue that, and I'm going to glue one of these down so that it doesn't stick up a little bit. And then we'll put our Sweet Annie on there. Isn't that pretty pumpkin, lavender and lace with Laurie? Hi, Laurie. I love that pumpkin. I love and then I could go back and I can add some dark wax, you know, to this too, you know, to kind of tie in with the pumpkin. Because looks like it's been distressed a little bit, or dark wax or antiquing wax, whatever. So let's glue a little bit of the Sweet Annie on, and then we'll do the bow. I've got a little bitty, not a little bitty. I've got a raffia bow that I'm going to be using, and just kind of have some of this Sweet Annie kind of coming out from it. Bit. I need my silicone spatula here. That's what I need. Don't burn myself. Okay. So let's see, where do I want to put that? I just kind of want to put it all kind of in the middle and do that. It's still shedding, but not like it would. So spray it. You can use hairspray. I've known people to use hairspray, but just, you know, spray it with some kind of sealer, or use the Mod Podge like I did. And you've been listening from work, Lisa. Well, thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Hey, Beth. Hey, sister. How are you? There's Rekindle Blessings. How are you, my friend? Have you recovered from your retreat? So, okay, so I'm going to just clip a little bit of that off. It has some brown, it has little brown beads, it has little brown berries right there and right up in there. So that's why I added a little bit of the Sweet Annie there. I don't know if I need to add a little more. I might add a little more to this, just over here. I think I sprayed, I sealed this. Let's see. They're kind of glued together now. I just want to see if I can, and then we'll put the bow on. Thank you, Mary. You're great. How are you? I've recovered. It was a ton of work, but so worth it. I know. I can imagine. imagine. I don't know because I haven't ever done a retreat, but I can very well imagine how much time and effort it takes. I mean, the ones I've been to, I can tell it takes a lot of time and effort. I've been to Brooks, and when she was in Gulf Shores, and of course our business retreats that she did for the coaching retreats. So I've got my little raffia bow here. I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 5 passes, 5 little loops with that. And I'll probably end up, I did not do it, but I need to find a little button for my raffia for the center. Y'all know I like to use little buttons. So I will do that. And we are done. So we'll hold that down a minute and see where I want to, I glued it to the fiddle. I glued it to the, let me redo that. I need to glue it to the actual frame. I glued it to the eucalyptus so it wasn't laying flat. There we go. That works. You caught the end of it, Karen. Well, good. Go back and watch the beginning. I just used a little placemat from Hobby Lobby. Like I said, I don't know if they have them now, but this was purchased 2 years ago. I purchased 2. And I used one that year. I used it with a, I took the placemat and put it in a embroidery hoop is what I did. So there you go. Just something really sweet. Easy to do. You know, you can hang it because it has the little hanger right here. Or you could just put it on an easel, like I like to do, because I don't really like to, I have a lot of wall space. You know, when you do these open, when you use these open floor plans, you don't have a lot of walls, but I could take something down and do that. So I just like to use the easels, you know, and just use them as little shelf sitters. I have to say that slow these days because I knew I was going to slip up like I did last week. Woo! So thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate that. So this is just a fabric piece of fabric from a placemat. I'll probably end up saving this, the back of it, because I may use that fabric, you know, for something. So I think I got my money's worth out of it for sure. But that's how easy that is. So that is my project for today. So we're just a couple of minutes. I just took my time and visited with y'all. Hey, Cynthia Vines. There's my bestie. She's got, why aren't you under your business page? Shabby Heart by Vines. She does a lot of junk journaling. And we're coming in late. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. So I guess I could show y'all, anyway, I like that. So it turned out really nice. I think the duck egg, vintage duck egg goes great. Pulls in all the colors. So I'll show you real quickly just what's going on back here. Some of you have asked to see it because I'm blocking it all the time. This is the crow that we did last week with the Dollar Tree frame that I did with the antique gold rub and buff and black paint. And then I did the handle. It was black from Hobby Lobby. And I just used a little bit of gold rub and buff and tied it all in. And man, do I like this crow. This is called the Crow Duo from Decapar Central. And my link is at the top of my page featured if y'all want to look at these prints or any of the other prints. But I like crows. Tim likes to call them ravens. He said ravens is better for Halloween. But just some primitive things that I've bought over time. Just more of a primitive look. This was a sweater pumpkin from Walmart that I zhuzhed up. And, you know, just with some Chinese lanterns that they had. And polka dotted, you know, black and orange polka dot ribbon to kind of go with my sign that I stenciled. My friend Mandy from Western Grace and Home Decor made this cute little hat, and I bought one from her and just put it on top of a little pumpkin. So, you know, and then I've got some jacks up here. These are really cute that I bought from, I don't know if I bought them from the fruit of her hands or her, I don't know if it's her mother or her sister, But these cute little primitive jacks. I've got a black primitive cat. There's another little jack right there. Cindy does do lives. She just hadn't been doing lives lately. She's been busy trying to get her mom's houses sold. They've been remodeling. And just some primitive candy corn here made out of fabric. So, you know, I just have fabric. I mean, I don't do decorating for Halloween in my house, but I did do this. This was something I made out of barnwood. The little cute little scarecrow from Decor Central. I used all the gnarly barnwood. This is where the horses chewed it off, and made that. I thought it was really cute. Thank you, Kevin. I enjoy decorating. I sure do. And then this is just, you know, my gourd pail and another crow here. So that's just what I did, and just some fabric, really, just some check fabric, and I like it. So that's what I had going on back there that I cover up when I'm standing here. But here's my project for today, and thank you for joining me. The next crafter is up in Craft Around the Clock. Just refresh your page and go over and see who's next. I don't know who it is, but thank you for joining me for sure. And y'all have a terrific Tuesday. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.